Hello and welcome to the McTaggart Attack Podcast. I am Kevin McTaggart. This is episode 60 of the podcast. So, yippee! Yeah, alright, cool. I always find when I get to the tens, a different 10 of podcasts, that it's cool. You know, I don't know why. I'm not sure. I think because I was born on May 5th, 5, that I'm always interested in multiples of 5, so, but I like number 10 also, since, well, that is a multiple of 5, you stupid fucker, but, yeah, so I'm saying, it's cool. I'm glad that I reached 60, but I'm not going to make a big deal out of a podcast again until about episode 100. That'll be my next big deal episode. I'm not sure what the fuck I'm going to do then, but I'm going to be looking forward to it. So, yeah. So, anyway. So, I know the last episode was about my golf trip and all the things that annoyed me on my golf trip. So, I recorded the episode and finished it on that Saturday. And then there was something that happened on Sunday that pissed me off. So, I'm leading off with that. Oh, so fucking annoying. It pissed me off. So, of course, I'm here to share it with you, cherished listeners of this podcast. So, Sunday, me, my dad, and our friend Phil, we drove down together. We were able to get all 3 clubs and all our bags into the car. It took 15 minutes to figure it out. Monday night when we left, but we figured it out. And then it was Sunday morning, and we had to try to figure it out again. So we did. And we had it all packed up. We had everything in there. We had the box for the trophy, the Red Shoes trophy, that none of us won, but we were bringing it back up here because the person who won it flew, and so you couldn't fit that big god-awful trophy in an airplane. So we had it all loaded up there because, we brought the trophy with us anyway because Phil had won the trophy last year, and I came in second then, and this year I choked in the last round, but that's not what this story is about. So, we have it all packed up. The car is all packed up. We're all done. And then one of the guys who was one of the loud people that I mentioned in the previous podcast, one of the drunken partiers who stayed out till 3 a.m. every night, I think. I'm not even sure. He walks over to us with this bag, this, plastic bag full of stuff. And he's like, hey, can you guys bring this back up? And my dad's like, what is it? And he's like, it's fireworks. And I said no. And then he asked me why not. And instead of me giving a bullshit answer, the car's too full, or something like that, I decided to be honest, because this guy was obnoxious throughout. He just I hadn't spoken to him at all through the trip. I had no idea who he was. We met briefly at the beginning of the trip and maybe had a few witty exchanges. He was basically a stranger, So, I decided to be honest when he asked us if he could bring it. So I said no, right? So I said no, and then my honest response was, when he asked me why, I said, because I don't want to. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So as I'm walking back into the condo, the guy's saying, I overhear him talking, asking someone else, did he really say he doesn't want to do it? And someone told him yes, and then I hear him say, oh, he's such a douchebag. And I'm like, and I walked into the condo. So he called me a douchebag only because I said no, that I wouldn't do it. And I don't know if that necessarily warrants being called a douchebag, but like, I went in there, got a few more of my stuff, and, talked to my dad for a second, and he's like, what's the big deal if we bring it? I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're right, I know, that guy was giving people shit the whole time throughout the trip, it seemed, from my perspective. So, I went back out there, and I'm like, hey, I'll go ahead and bring it. Why don't you give it to me? And then he goes, oh yeah, I'll give it to you. Oh yeah, I'll give it to you. That was his response. Oh yeah, I'll give it to you, all right. And then I was like, I said to him after he told me that, with that attitude that he gave me, with that ridiculous fucking attitude that he gave me, like, I'm trying to be nice about it. And then he just comes back with, like, more attitude. So I was like, that's when I got angry. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to do it for you because you're acting like an asshole. I said something like that. Again, I'm not sure exactly what I said. I remember the word asshole was said by me at some point in that statement. But I was too fucking angry at that point. First of all, I have every right to say no. And I have every right to tell him why I don't want to do it. So I didn't do it. So I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to, like, bullshit him and give him some ridiculous fake answer. I gave him, like, the honest answer because I didn't want to. Because I don't know him. And I don't want to have to track him down at some point, with these ridiculous things. I know where he works, but, like, I didn't know how long I was going to have to worry about these stupid-ass fireworks. Because when he first asked me, he said, oh, but they're for my kids. And, like, again, I still don't care. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Like, I was going to give the trophy to the winner because I know him. We have a previous friendship. We were in the golf league together. I know who he is. I don't know who this guy is. Plus, the state of New Hampshire sells fireworks. You can buy fireworks. I don't see what the fucking deal was with these stupid-ass fireworks. But he called me a douchebag, and then he gave me attitude when I came back and said that I would do it, so then I decided not to do it, and I called him an asshole. So I was angry. And I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember what I said. I just remember, I was angry. Usually when I'm angry, I don't remember what I said. So we go eat breakfast, we go to the golf course, and we go play golf, and, I after the round, I was thinking, maybe if the guy comes to me and is nice about it, I'll change my mind and take his little bag of fireworks up to New Hampshire and Vermont with us. That's what I said. That's what I said to myself. So, like, I came in after my round of golf, and most of them were already eating lunch, and there were 2 tables for us, and he was at a table with a bunch of other people, so I sat at one of the less crowded tables, and with the rest of the members of our group, and I overhear him telling the story from the morning and he's, I know for a fact he's talking about me, and like, I'm looking right at him from our table to his table, and I'm like yelling at him, hey, I'm right over here. And then, I'm, waving at him. And he's not even looking at me, but I can see him. I can see his face. But he's not looking in my goddamn direction. And it's pissing me off that he's talking shit about me. That he's telling this story about me. And calling me names. So I got up. I was not getting up to fight him. I don't fight people. I don't believe it's pointless to fight people. Also, I'm a wuss and I won't fight people, but I will say things to people. So I walked over to his table and I'm like, excuse me. I can hear you from the other table talking about me. And I was going to do it. But then I heard you talking shit about me, so now I'm not. So he then goes, well, that's okay. I know that you're a jerk. He said something like that. He called me a jerk, is essentially what he did. And then I fired back with the very lame, it takes one to know one, and I walked back to my table. And it just fucking ridiculous. So, he called me a douchebag and a jerk because I refused to deliver fireworks for him. He totally fucked up in this situation. I act nicely about this, except for the one instance when I called him an asshole. But, for the most part, I tried to maintain the high road. I did not curse at him. I didn't say, no, I won't take your goddamn stupid-ass motherfucking fireworks. No, I said because I don't want to. That's all I did. And he fired back with curse words and calling me names and shit. But if he had, acted like an adult and would have, not been drunk, obnoxious asshole, I would have done it. But it just pissed me off so much that he called me names and treated me like that. For something stupid like fireworks. And he called me a douchebag. And him talking shit about me and calling me names and talking about me when I'm right there and calling me the jerk. If anybody was acting like a douchebag in this situation, it's him. He calls me a douchebag because I don't agree to do something for him. He didn't even really ask. He just said, hey, can you guys take these up there? He wasn't even fucking polite about it. I'm not even sure if he knows how to be fucking polite. Just really pissed me off. It was a terrible way to end the goddamn golf trip. And I'm not mentioning his name or anything like that, because there's no point to doing that. There's no point to, mentioning the person's name and that shit. But it was really fucking annoying. It really bugged the crap out of me, and it made me a little paranoid, too, because, I mouthed off to this guy, but I was afraid. Traveling always makes me nervous, so I was afraid something would happen to the car. I was afraid he might do something to the car. I don't know why he would do that, but that's my paranoid mindset going on. But it's just so fucking annoying. It was just an awful way to end the trip, having this, for the lack of a better word, douchebag call me a douchebag. I'm fine being called a douchebag. You can call me a douchebag if I do things that warrant being called a douchebag. But just because I didn't want to do something for you doesn't mean that you should call me a douchebag. What the fuck? Just fucking annoying. It was just, like I said, it was a terrible way to end the fucking trip, and I don't know what the hell to do now. He thinks he's going to be on the trip next year, but I have news for him. He's not going to be there. But I doubt he cares anyway, because all he cared about was drinking. Whatever. But yeah, so that was a terrible way to end the golf trip. Other than that, it was the usual golf trip fine. I was tense the whole time throughout the trip. I don't know why. It always makes me tense. Traveling and such. I try to have a good time, but I did. I had a good time. I was relaxed. I wasn't at work, so that was good. But I just needed to get that thing off my chest about that kid who pissed me off. Just fucking ridiculous. There was another thing that pissed me off. I'm not sure I should talk about this. But I don't know. This might be a bit controversial. I might get in some trouble for this. But I don't know. It's just kind of annoying. Like, I have some relatives on my mom's side of the family. And it's just annoying to me how but maybe this is like I don't know if this is a usual thing with most family members, and then I might this is just my thoughts. If anybody should get attacked if you have problems with what I'm going to say, this is me. Get mad at me. Don't come to my parents. Don't come to my sister. Come to me. Tell me that you're annoyed with what I'm saying. But there seems to be a lot of family drama on my mom's side of the family. And it seems to me that a lot of my aunts and uncles on that side of the family act like a bunch of immature little kids. It's just so annoying. I just don't know. I'm just curious if this is like a phenomenon if this happens a lot. If everybody has like family members older than you. Like, what I'm basically trying to say is people in their 50s and 60s should not act like they're 15 or 16 with jealous backbiting, and talking behind people's backs and shit like that. I'm just tired of it. If you have a problem with someone, or if you need to talk to someone, talk to each other. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, without going into that many specifics, I just wish people would like talk to each other, to the people that you have a fucking problem with, instead of talking to other people about complaining about that other person. This is a very indirect and lame thing for me to say and to talk about, but it's just, I needed to get that off my chest without getting into too many specifics. I don't want to mention any names. I never want to mention any names, but it pisses me off when people older than you who we should technically respect, but how can we respect them when they act like immature little kids? Stop acting like immature little kids. If you have a problem with somebody, talk to that person. Or if you want to, just, life is short. And this isn't just about my family. This is about any family. Life is too short to be mad about stupid crap. Or if you do annoy someone, have the nerve to go and apologize to that person. Talk to them. Don't be scared of their reaction. You shouldn't have tried to piss them off in the first place. What am I talking about? Nothing specific. It's just a general thing that I've noticed. That people older than me in like their 50s and 60s need to stop acting like teenagers. It's fucking ridiculous. And again, if you're mad at what I just said, talk to me. I'm always willing to listen. And what I'll probably tell you is, oh, okay, I'm sorry I offended you. Thank you for talking to me directly. It's called communication. Should fucking try it sometime. I probably will get in trouble for that, but I don't care, because I don't see any of my relatives anyway. So, except my avid listener, my Aunt Elaine and Wayne, who, are avid listeners to my podcast, so, hello. I hope they enjoyed that shout out. Let's see. What else should I talk about today? Enough of this negative shit. I'm very happy that Pearl Jam announced back in January, I think it got leaked, and then they announced it, that they were going to do some shows at various stadiums. They're doing, I think they're touring in South America in like a month or so. Then they'll be in Europe, and then when I heard those two tours, I'm thinking, okay, they definitely have to be coming to the United States and touring there as well. I'm also wondering if there's an album. For those of you unaware, I am a huge Pearl Jam fan. So, if you don't like Pearl Jam, you're going to have to deal with that shit, because I'm going to be talking about it on my podcast. Why? Because it's my podcast. Anyway, so I thought, surely they'll be touring in the U.S., and I was right. They're doing some stadium shows, I think, in near Seattle. I think they're doing one in, like, Montana or something. And then I think they're doing they're doing 2 in Wrigley, and they're doing 2 in Fenway. So I put in the drawing, the fan club drawing, so I could buy tickets early from them. And I got the drawing results yesterday, and I'm going to both Fenway Park shows on September 2nd and September 4th. Very fucking excited about that. There's not much that makes me happy or excited, but Pearl Jam is definitely on that list. So I'm very fucking excited that I'll be going to Fenway Park to see Pearl Jam twice in September. I don't care if I'm not allowed to at work or not. I'm fucking going. So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm not sure who I'm going with, or if I'm going to drive down there both days or whatever. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I need to figure that out. I still have some time, obviously. I don't think I'm going to go with the same person twice. We'll have to see. I'm not sure. But, so yeah, I'm very, very excited about that. So that'll be fun. So there you go. Okay, I have a few other things I want to talk about before we finish up this episode. First thing I wanted to talk about, I saw this article this week about, I guess Dartmouth College has, they're putting together a committee that's going to discuss closing Hanover Country Club, the Hanover golf course, Hanover Country Club. And this bothers me. This bothers me because it's one of my favorite courses to play here in the Upper Valley. And if they close it, I'll just golf somewhere else. But it's just upsetting to me that they would even think about closing a course that's been around for I think it's been around for 100-something years now. I want to say. I think they had their 100th anniversary over a decade ago, if I'm not mistaken. So it's at least a century old. It's got to be 115 years old, and it's just going to close, possibly. And that's just ridiculous to me. I like to play golf, but they're citing the fact that they don't have as much members as they used to. Well, maybe they need to lower the prices of these membership fees so they can get more people to come to the course. But then again, do they really? They probably don't want everyone to come to the course. I don't know. Maybe you do. You want more. Call me crazy, but I think you'd want the most people to come to your golf course or any business. So I'm not saying lower the standards, but lower, like, maybe the prices for membership. You know, because the membership fee, I don't know what the membership fees are, but I think they're pretty crazy. You know, and I mean, except for Hanover and Norwich, I have to think most people here are just, they can't afford to pay that much for golf every week. You know? It's just a shame. They should lower their prices. That's my suggestion for Hanover Country Club, for Dartmouth College. They should lower their damn prices, and then more people will come to the golf course. I mean, because that's what you want. You want more people to come to the golf course. So that's one thing I wanted to bring up that's pissing me off. Something else I wanted to talk about. I think I'm going to talk more about this in my next episode, but I at least wanted to mention it. Like, there's been, as most of you probably know now, there's been another school shooting. And I heard, what was it? Valentine's Day, I heard about this when it happened. And I heard Florida, and I'm like, oh, that's too bad. And then, like, Thursday, I find out, it was in Broward County. And I went to high school in Broward County for my junior and senior year. I went to South Plantation High School, and this school was not far from there, It's all in the same county, and it's just kind of unsettling. But it's always unsettling when there's a school shooting or any type of shooting. Like, there was that shooting in Las Vegas a few months ago, and I think there have been quite a few school shootings in the past. There have been more school shootings in the past 5 years or something than there have been ever, I think. I don't know if that's the actual statistic. I was half asleep when I listened and watched Meet the Press this morning. So don't. The bottom line is we need to stop that. We need to, we need to figure out what to do with this. I don't know if it's necessarily guns, or if it's the people who have the guns, or it's the access to the guns. I don't know what the hell the issue is, but it's just very unsettling to me. I mean, I'm going to talk more about this, I think, next week, but I needed to mention it, because it hit close to home, but that's not the only reason why I'm bringing it up, because anytime there's a school shooting, it's horrible, especially, it's ridiculous. It's sad, and they keep happening. Shootings and stuff seem to happen more and more now, and we need to do something to stop this. I don't know who's to blame. I don't care who's to blame. We just need to come up with some ways to stop this, because people shouldn't die. We need to stop people from dying, no matter what the fuck it is, whether it's guns or cancer or whatever the fuck it is. We need to stop, people from dying, generally. But I think I'm going to talk more about gun control next week. I just wanted to mention how it's close to home. But I think next week's episode 61 will cover gun control and stuff. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about today? And in this episode, let's see. I'm not 100% sure what the hell I wanted to talk about. Getting there. Bear with me. Let's see. Yeah. Oh. This was one more thing I wanted to bring up before I get to what pisses you off and everything else. But I as you know, am a big sports fan, and I like listening to sports radio. And there was one station that I used to like to listen to, but a lot of the guys on the show, on the station, just annoy the crap out of me. And apparently, this station I'm referring to is WEEI in Boston. Okay, and I from what I understand, I mean, they've had numerous people who worked for their station suspended for various comments. Like, I think Kirk Minahan, a few years ago, said some mean, hateful things about Aaron Andrews. And then he apologized, and he made the apology even worse. And then, what was it? Some guy I've never heard of who works there, talked about Tom Brady's daughter last month. You know? So Tom Brady may not ever do his weekly radio interview on WEEI anymore because they talked bad about his daughter. And then there was Christian Fourier, former football player, on his show, made some sort of imitation about Tom Brady's agent. Is Don Yee his agent? I think. But yeah, so now I guess Friday I didn't listen. I never listened to I hardly ever listen. I'll listen to Dale and Holly in the afternoon if I'm down there, because I like Dale and Holly. But they the owners of the station, because they were losing sponsorships over all these terrible comments that have come to life. More importantly, Fourier's comments, they lost some sponsorships over that. So, of course, they had everyone at the station, all the on-air talent, do sensitivity training. They didn't have any live shows on this past Friday for sensitivity training. And I'm just like, this will not help. I don't think it will help. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's a good move by their part, but I feel like they're going to hate it more than they're going to enjoy it. I hope, will they take it seriously? I doubt it. But what I think this does now, though, for WEEI is it gives them reason to just fire them the next time they make these comments, because they've done, I feel like taking them off the air, all of the shows off the air for a day, sends a message, a good message, and we'll see how that goes. But I want to know what happens the next time a derogatory comment comes from one of their hosts. What do they do? Do they keep suspending them for 5 days like they usually do? Or are they going to, are they just going to immediately fire them now that they've had this training? So I'm curious to see what happens with that. I don't know what's going to happen, but I would not be surprised if another one of their hosts makes derogatory comments as they do. All right, now we're going to do what pisses you off. This week's winner, I say winner because they never win anything. That it's just going to be me talking about them and getting mad about their thing for, the day, for the episode, for the segment. So, this week's winner is Mule, Vermont comedian, biker, marijuana legalization expert. Mule, this is what he wrote when I asked people to give me stuff that pisses them off. Mule said, "Pay at the pump or pay inside before you pump, but when you want a receipt, it goes inside. It says go inside to see the cashier. I paid at the pump, so I wouldn't have to walk inside. And they won't bring the receipt out to you? That's what's pissing me off today." First of all, thank you, Mule. And that is quite annoying. So, here I go. I hate when I choose the pay at the pump option. And then when I want to get my receipt, I can't get my goddamn receipt right there at the machine. They tell me that I have to go into the goddamn cash register to see the cashier to get the stupid receipt for it. What the fuck is the point of paying at the pump if I have to go in and get my goddamn receipt? That's ridiculous. It totally defeats the purpose of me paying at the pump. Also, what they should do for these people is bring the receipt out to me. I don't care if it's a goddamn inconvenience to the cashier. Because you know what? Me going into the store after paying is an inconvenience to me. Since I didn't want to go into the damn store to begin with. Have you ever been in some of these gas station convenience stores? They are filthy. It's fucking ridiculous. I think that's one of my best ones, to be honest with you. I felt good about that one. I hope you enjoyed that one, Mule, but I'm not really sure you're actually listening to this because last I checked, you only had a flip phone, so I'm not really sure you know how to listen to podcasts. But I do appreciate what you offered, and I think I got angry about it enough for you to listen. So that's been this week's episode. Upcoming shows. I think I'm in a show in Barrie at Espresso Bueno on the 23rd. I'm not 100% sure I'm in the show. I think I'm in the show. I'm not 100% sure. And then I have Comedy Thunderdome on March 3rd at Marquee in Middlebury. That Friday, the Friday before that, March 2nd, I'm doing a storytelling show at the Marquee called The Worst that my good friend G.W. Foley hosts. What else? I have Movie Roast on March 17th. We're going to watch the very first Fantastic Four movie. So that's exciting. Remember to like the Facebook page for the McTaggart Attack Podcast. Go on to Facebook and look up McTaggart Attack Podcast and you can find it there. What else? I have 2 YouTube channels. One that's me for my comedy, and then there's one for the McTaggart Attack Podcast if you choose to listen to podcasts through YouTube. You can find me on Facebook if you want to send me a friend request. And also follow me on Twitter at KevMcT. This has been episode 60 of the McTaggart Attack Podcast. I'll talk to you all next time, or you'll hear me talk next time. Why would I talk to you all? I'm talking on the podcast. I hope you'll listen to the next episode, and this one. I hope you especially listen to this one. I don't know what I'm going to call this one. I'm thinking I'm going to be snarky with this one, and it's going to be called, I Got Called a Douchebag by a Douchebag. I think that's what'll be the title of this one. But if I'm going to be nice about it, though, I may change it to, I got Pearl Jam tickets. So I'm not sure which title I'm going to go with, but I will figure that out at some point. And you'll know what I chose as a title. And, yeah. Okay. That's all I'm going to do today. Bye.